Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at a switch none of you asked for, the Gateron Green. Let's get started. Now, the Gateron Green is a Cherry MX Green clone, and if you're not familiar with the MX Green, that's okay, because they were never really a popular switch option. In fact, the whole point of the MX Green was to be a switch for the spacebar for keyboards that had Cherry MX Blues. Now, these Gateron Greens sort of work for the same reason, but I have never seen these switches in any keyboard ever, not even a single one, so I'm not too sure who this is really for if I'm being honest. In terms of pricing, these are currently £4.15 for 10 switches on AliExpress, easily putting it up against the Greeted Green switch. And this is what they look like disassembled. Feel free to pause the video. Now let's move on to the switch categories. On-center key presses are very smooth with minimal scratchiness, although the tactile event introduces a smidge of scratchiness, but this is nothing to be worried about. Off-center key presses are not smooth in comparison. When you press directly at the bottom edge of the keycap, there is a prominent tactile bump for most of the switches. I'm not sure why this is because the Gateron Blue did not have it. It's very strange. 5 out of 10. The weighting is heavy with an actuation force of 65 grams at 2mm and a bottom out force of 80 grams at 4mm of total travel. The tactile event occurs between 1 and 2mm, peaking around 79 grams at 1.4mm. It's not quite an accurate clone of the MX Green as you can see here. Overall, I'm not a fan and I tend to like heavier switches. However, these feel unbalanced to my fingers, especially before the tactile event. They have a rather mushy feel to them. It's quite weird and all over the place. I don't really like it. 4 out of 10. Sound is as expected. It has a click jacket just like the Gateron Blue, which means that yes, these are just as rattly and just as high pitched, even with the milky housing on them. 4 out of 10. Now for the typing demo. Enjoy. So firstly, the mushy feeling that these switches give off make for a subpar typing experience, as the weighting feels unbalanced and mushy. This throws me off whenever I type on them. Yes, even after 2 weeks of use, I couldn't get used to them. However, they aren't completely unusable. You can still get some work done as long as you're ready to endure the sound and make a few mistakes along the way. So keep that in mind. Overall, if you use your keyboard for typing, look at other options because this is not worth buying. 4 out of 10. Gaming with a heavy clicky switch doesn't sound like the best idea, but it turns out it's actually not that bad. I would even go as far as to say that this switch is better for gaming than it is for typing. However, if you like gaming for long periods, I'm talking 5+ hours, then you may want to stay away from this switch as it is heavy, and you'd get tired of using them, especially if you aren't used to heavier switches. 6 out of 10. In conclusion, it doesn't really make sense to buy this switch as there are much better options in the market to choose from. So unless you like the milky housing aesthetic, go and buy a different switch instead. The final score for the switch is 22 out of 50 or 44%, below average, which is where it belongs. Anyway, next time I'll be reviewing another green switch. Until then, take care and goodbye.